So first of all, Happy New Year, everybody. And to start the new year, I think it's important to start things on the right foot. And today I want to talk about something that is rarely discussed in veterinary medicine and in equine dentistry, which is the part that we're interested in specifically, which is what is the intent behind what you're doing? The reason I want to talk about this is there's more and more interest in dentistry, and there's more and more clinics that are wanting to add dentistry or better dentistry or more dental services within their practice, okay? And so the question is why? And I think why is a very important question on why we do anything in life. Why do I want to offer a certain service? Why do I want to maybe develop a certain skill or buy a certain instrument? And as veterinarians, we're licensed to do anything. I can go do heart surgery on a dog tomorrow. It would be extraordinary malpractice, but I'm licensed to do it. And that's unfortunate in my opinion, because it can create this illusion of competency that because I'm a doctor that's completed veterinary school, that I can go work on a llama tomorrow, which would also be malpractice essentially. And so a lot of people are approaching us and they want to learn specific procedures in dentistry, like for example, extractions. And the question is why? Or do you want to learn this? Do you want to learn this because you see horses suffering through dental pain caused by a bad tooth that's maybe abscessed and you would like to help remedy this? Or is the question because it's something that you find interesting and that's a subject matter that you find interesting and you want to grow within that? Or is it something that you think can be a moneymaker for your practice, you know? And there's other reasons maybe, but those can be some of the main ones. And the last one is the part that concerns me the most, because more and more practices want to increase their revenue, and I get it. Veterinary medicine, it's a business. Everybody's trying to survive. Everybody has to make a living. But at the beginning of what we started in our career, we started with an oath to take care of animals that don't have a voice, they can't speak for themselves. And veterinarians, we are the representative of that. And we can't practice high quality medicine without having a business that produces a profit, because in order to get continuing education, in order to buy more instruments, in order to have time to rest and regroup and think and study, we have to be making some money. So it is a business, and I understand that as much as anybody. I've been in business my whole life. I've been self-employed in one form or another. So I understand the importance of that. But there's a paradox that we have to balance that with helping animals and helping owners. And if we're only a bleeding heart and that we don't run a business, then it's hard for that to flourish well, and it's hard for our skills to rise, because we're constantly losing money. We're trying to do the right thing, and we get mental exhaustion, emotional exhaustion, financial exhaustion, and we reach a point where we can help nobody. And so that's not helpful to animals, and it's not helpful to owners. But then there's a counterparty to that, which is something that can happen, which is where money becomes an obsession, where production becomes an obsession. Adding services to make your clinic more profitable becomes an obsession. And I think why I want to talk about it is because when that happens, the initial person that took that oath can become lost, and you lose the vision of what you're trying to do in the first place. And I think that's unfortunate for the veterinarian, and it's even more unfortunate for their patients. And so one of the things that we're trying to do with our educational modules here is to help reconcile people with their skills, their knowledge, their intent, and their business. We want people to thrive in their business. We want people to be able to meet their intent, and we want them to get the skills required to do all of that. Unfortunately, what I see is a lot of people want to jump to the success part, and the intent is a mismatch for where they're trying to go. For the example of the extractions, Some people come and they want to learn how to do extractions because they find this area fascinating, dentistry, which is awesome. Or they want to help horses through their dental problems, which is also fantastic. And I love teaching people like that. But we also get this group that's always coming and that's just looking at the bottom line. They just want to add this so that they can add to this bottom line in their practice. And I'm going to tell you right now, if that's your interest, don't really bother coming to our classes, because I'm not interested in teaching for that, because in order to do some of these extractions, they're very difficult procedures. We have techniques that have made them easier, and we have a lot of tricks and things that we can do to help people do extractions. But just because you can do an extraction, just because you are licensed to do it, does not mean you should do it. And unfortunately, every week or every other week, I deal with cases where somebody could do the extraction, they were licensed to do the extraction, it's legal for them to do the extraction, but maybe the extraction didn't need to happen. Maybe they extracted the wrong tooth because they don't understand how to get a correct diagnosis. And then having instruments gives us the ability to do something, but again, just because I can do it doesn't mean it's right. And unfortunately, one of the issues that we battle when it comes to dentistry, especially those of us that do a lot of surgeries and a lot of extractions, is some places see us as essentially monkeys with instruments. One of the things I've heard my whole life is, well, I could do this, but Nick, he's got all these instruments, and so we'll just have him do it. And that's okay, I get that. I do have a lot of instruments. I have all of them. But there's also knowledge that people have and skills that develop over time, and they're very difficult to acquire, some of these. And so there's a skill set, and what we're interested in is we want to teach people that skill set. Then they can go out and buy the instruments that they want, and again, put that together with their intent and get the right result. But to just think that you're going to come and I'm going to teach you A, B, C, D, E on how to do an oral extraction or surgical extraction, and then you're going to go to your clinic and then you're going to find cases that match that criteria, and then you can just make money and add to the bottom line, you're going to get into trouble because dentistry is actually a lot more complex than what most people realize. There's a lot of misunderstanding too about what all goes on inside of a horse's mouth, which is one of the things that we've tried to share here, that there's a whole world, there's a whole galaxy in here, and it's really amazing. And we can help horses. I mean, the feedback we get on a daily basis, and people that we know and have trained and worked with, and the positive feedback from clients and their horses is unbelievable. Most people that don't do this type of work can't really comprehend how positive that feedback can get. So we have this tremendous ability to help horses, and it's just so important that you are doing it for the right reasons. So people that have these are doing it for the right reasons. So we want to show you all that's happening inside this horse's mouth. But unfortunately, for a lot of practices, they can tend to think that dentistry is just boring. It's just taking sharp points off, taking out a D-wall power float, rubbing some sharp points off, snap the speck off, close the mouth, charge the client, go on, do another one. You do 30 of those in a day. That's not dentistry, and that's not interesting. And so the people that think that dentistry is boring, that's more of a testament to their lack of understanding and their lack of knowledge and their lack of wisdom, essentially. Because even if you're very knowledgeable about any area in life, you should be able to superimpose that onto another region. For example, if you know a lot about car engines and you spent your whole life devoted to somebody that studied engines and how things work, if you sit down with that person, you should have the ability to understand that knowledge transposes into other things, that somebody that operates a crane for a living can have that same intensity, that same focus, and that same knowledge base. And so you don't need to be a crane operator or a mechanic or a surgeon necessarily to appreciate what goes into these regions. And so I think for people that think that, oh, it's just dentistry, it's just this, we need to really, as a profession, kind of retract from that, because there is really a whole galaxy in here, and it's really spectacular. And it's an area where horses really need us, and we need more veterinarians to understand it, and we need to not kind of have this basic view of dentistry, which ultimately reflects a basic wisdom on that person's part. And so to start the year, I want to put a little bit of pressure on the community and on veterinarians to raise the expectation of both our understanding of dentistry and our intent as far as why we're doing the things that we do, what attracted all of us to veterinary medicine to begin with, which I think for everybody is to help animals, and to not let the corporate bureaucracy, the need to make a living, the need to operate a business, detract our focus from, first and foremost, what we should get our knowledge and skills. And that knowledge and skills, even if you're already a veterinarian, additional knowledge and skills are hard work to acquire. They're not something you take just a quick online class or a quick 2-day CE, or you go to a conference and acquire. It takes tremendous dedication and commitment and kind of working at this to develop that. And so I think operating from that framework of our intent is to help, and to help requires skills, and these skills require a tremendous amount of work to obtain, but then through that we get the results we want, as opposed to, I am a licensed veterinarian, I have a practice, I'm going to send Joe Blow, my young associate, off to go learn how to do dental extractions because that could add revenue to the practice. Because Joe Blow, maybe his heart's not, or her heart's not interested in dentistry, maybe the passion's not there, and that is never going to be a winning recipe, especially for the horse. And the reason why I'm talking about it this way is I've seen way too many injustices in the last year to horses that have received advanced surgical procedures that they should have not had. And there's really very little excuse for that. And so if you're interested in bettering your skills and we can help you with that, then please come and we'll do whatever we can to help you. And if you're just looking to add something to your practice to make more money, we'll go somewhere else because I'm not really interested in helping with that. Thank you.